My stance is very boldly that businesses need to open. They just need to, period. They're going to lose their livelihoods if they stay closed. They're going to lose their livelihoods and their business if governors continue to lock them down because they know they have the authority. And if we don't open up and defy those orders, we're agreeing that they have the authority, and we're agreeing that it's okay. My name is Lindsey Graham, and I'm the owner of Glamour Salon in Salem, Oregon. So we had been closed down March 23rd for about 6 weeks. On May 5th, I decided to reopen against the mandate, against the lockdown. So my husband and I own 6 businesses, and all of them were deemed non-essential on March 23rd when Democrat Governor Kate Brown locked everyone down. And so we had no income for 6 weeks, and we still owed all of the money that we owed for rent on our buildings and overhead. And Kate Brown continued to lead us to believe that we would open soon without ever giving us a date. And so by the time the beginning of May rolled around, we were still unaware when we would be allowed to work again. And so in order to keep our family afloat and our mortgage paid and our businesses alive, we decided that that I would open my salon and go back to work. After I opened on May 5th, within 10 days, I experienced intimidation tactics, bullying by all of the government agencies that she sent after me. I was threatened by Oregon Health Licensing, Oregon Health Authority, Oregon OSHA, the City of Salem, and Child Protective Services. And I was issued a $14,000 citation from Oregon OSHA. I was visited by Child Protective Services and had interviewed with my children without me present. They threatened to take my kids away. I was threatened with daily fines, Class D misdemeanor. I was told my license to operate would be revoked, that my license to do hair would be revoked. I was threatened that I'd be kicked out of my building. And so we are filing a lawsuit against all of those agencies and Kate Brown in their personal and professional capacity, alleging that they didn't have the authority to decide who was and wasn't essential and to shut us down, and for bullying me into trying to shut me back down after I did open. They alleged that an anonymous caller reported various child welfare concerns in my home, and this was ironically the day after I opened. I've never had any situations with Child Protective Services in my life. I would imagine that I never will again. And so we believe it was just part of the intimidation tactic. They interviewed my 6-year-old son without me present, which is illegal, and I was not aware of that at the time. And they did a lot of, pretty invasive things. They walked around my house and looked in the toilets and the fridge and pantries, things like that. And after we noted that we would file a lawsuit against them, they quickly shut the case. We have 0 COVID cases that have been tracked to our salon. 0 positive cases. No one that works in the salon has been sick. None of our clients have told us that they have gotten sick after. And no one has brought a positive case traced back to this salon. So since May 5th, we've been open, what is that? I guess 8-ish months, 7 months. We have not spread 1 case of COVID to our knowledge. I've been paying my constitutional attorney, Ross Day, to file the lawsuit and fight against Governor Kate Brown's lockdowns. I am also still fighting the $14,000 OSHA citation, and that has to go to court. So I've been paying an attorney for that for the last 9 months. And my business has suffered greatly because of, the liberal left, the cancel culture, the mainstream media that's just portraying me in a different manner than is true. And so, my business is suffering because of it. So we'll just have to see what happens there. We had a lot of support in the very beginning, a lot. Local customers are still the ones that have supported us when we opened are still the people that are supporting us, which is great. We had a lot of nationwide support. But most recently, the community here is just very biased. They're very liberal biased. They're watching the news and seeing, what happened in DC, and then they're linking me up to that. They're still deciding that I'm a murderer because I've opened my business, even though there are no COVID cases. So none of it's legit. It just seems that the community is very simple-minded, and they have their hearts set on believing what they want to believe about, what I did, and they really don't want to listen to reason. So for that reason, I feel like this community particularly hasn't been very supportive, unfortunately. But for those who are, I'm very, very, very thankful. I believe that when our Constitution was written, it's the pursuit of liberty and life and happiness, and we have a freedom as Americans to run a fair trade business and do commerce with other Americans. And that is what I was doing when the governor decided that she had the authority to decide who could and couldn't work. And there was no science or data behind her reasoning. That's very clear now. And there continues to be no science or data behind her continued lockdowns. And so I believe she was infringing upon my rights as a human and as an American to take away my income to provide for my family. I think that in desperate times we do desperate things, and there was no way in the world I was going to sit back and let my mortgage go unpaid and my bills go unpaid and my children not get the best care because a Democratic governor decided that she had an agenda to fill, and that was to take away my job. And I believe to this day that opening was the right decision. I will always stand by that. I am no longer shy about the fact that businesses that aren't opening they're complying and they're contributing to the underlying problem, that the governors maintain that they have this authority. Now my stance is very boldly that businesses need to open. They just need to, period. They're going to lose their livelihoods if they stay closed. They're going to lose their livelihoods and their business if governors continue to lock them down because they know they have the authority. And if we don't open up and defy those orders, we're agreeing that they have the authority, and we're agreeing that it's okay. And it's going to continue on this path to communism, and it's going to harm the entire United States. So any business that is still shut because their governor told them they had to be, they are wrong. They need to open up. They need to open up now. I just always want to address the people that have supported me and contributed to my legal funds and shared my story. I really appreciate all of those supporters very, very much. It's meant the world to me. So yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.